Tonight, we tell you why the Pullman bonds could still be approved.
And a Marine Corps drill instructor is accused of abusing recruits.
Also, we'll explain what the weekend snowfall means for the winter. Murrow News 8 starts right now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Austin Getz.
And I'm Shannon Heck. Welcome to Murrow News 8. A Moscow woman is in custody after reportedly trafficking large amounts of meth. Documents show Moscow police received a tip from the Quad Cities Drug Task Force in late October. During the bust at her home, authorities recovered 1.5 pounds of meth, $16,000 in cash, and 4 guns. A Spokane Valley High School student is charged for making a threat to shoot up his school. The student stated that a discussion with 3 other students turned into an argument. During the argument, the student felt the other students were ganging up on him, which led him to make the threat.
With election ballots still coming in, there's still a chance for Pullman's proposed bonds to pass. State rules require that for a bond to pass, voter turnout must equal or exceed 40% of the previous election. In order to meet the voter turnout from last year, over 3,800 votes must be turned in, with 60% approval. With the temperature in Pullman dropping, driving in the snow is getting close. Jesse Maywald looks into winter driving safety and alternatives to getting behind the wheel yourself.
If you are not comfortable driving in the snow, buses can be much safer than personal vehicles.
Our buses are pretty big and heavy, and they have fairly good tractions. They have good tires on them. So normally we can continue most of our routes. It's only a couple of steep hills we avoid that sometimes. We have buses that go up from Dismore up to the high school, up a whole drive there, and sometimes you have to detour that route to take some side streets, or maybe go up Larry Street instead of. But besides that, most of the buses stay on route, the regular routes throughout the winter.
While there are leaves on the ground right now, winter snowfall is here. Buses may be able to offer another transportation alternative. However, riders may need to get to their stops a bit earlier to get to their destination on time.
Whenever there's snow, you definitely want to get to the bus early because there's a chance that it'll be delayed. There's been like really bad delays with the bus when it's snowing, so you definitely just want to get there early.
Winter driving accidents are a common occurrence here in Pullman. If you are forced to drive, Pullman Police Commander Chris Tinnett provides advice.
You know, the tricky thing about ice and snow is once you start sliding on ice and snow, it's too late. So the thing about winter driving is you have to give it a little thought ahead of time.
Pullman can be a nerve-wracking place to drive. Being aware while driving can prevent an accident.
Pullman has a ton of hills, up and down. You need to think about that hill before you start going down. Like, don't go down Monroe Street towards Stadium Way, because I guarantee you're not going to stop at the bottom.
Jesse Maywald, Murrow News 8.
This coming weekend is Veterans Day, when Americans take time to pause and thank those who have served their country. The Pullman Senior Center honored a number of the city's remaining veterans this week, and our Doug Taylor sat down with 3 of them.
Rick Stevens' tour of duty in Vietnam ended nearly 50 years ago, but it doesn't take much for the memories to come flooding back.
I saw a lot of things that I'll never forget, and people won't understand. But that's the way it was, you know.
As time moves on, though, the knowledge gained and lessons learned from those who served in America's great wars go with veterans to their graves and memorials. In this way, veterans are as much living history, whether it be from World War II, Korea, or Vietnam, as they are heroes.
Take this man, for instance, who served at the end and after World War II and witnessed one day of the Nuremberg trial of Nazi war criminal Hermann Goering.
And on directly across where you're sitting, a door, and that's where the witness stand, and that's where Goering was sitting, and all the fellas had white helmets, white gun belts, white shoes, white pistol grip holsters, and their white gloves.
71 years ago, as if it were yesterday. Memories in service for which so many give thanks.
Those individuals are responsible for everything that we have as citizens of the country, and it doesn't hurt to say thank you at any point in time.
Doug Taylor, Murrow News 8.
Wow, Shannon, what a story. After the break, we'll tell you about a controversial new policy at the University of Notre Dame.
And we'll give you information regarding physical abuse in the Navy.
No more pencils, no more books. No more teachers' dirty looks. School's out for summer. School's out forever. School's out with fever. School's out completely.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%. And it can happen in every place.
School's out for summer.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
Racial slurs posted on the dorm rooms of 5 African American students at the Colorado Springs Air Force Academy were put there by one of the students. This incident prompted an emotional speech by the Air Force Academy superintendent, saying that racists are not welcome at the school. The student responsible is no longer at the academy, and they did not comment on whether or not he withdrew or was expelled. Gunnery Sergeant Joseph Felix, a Marine Corps drill instructor, is accused of abusing some of his recruits. Reports say Sergeant Felix focused most of his abuse on Muslim recruits. Eyewitness accounts recalled incidents where Felix punched recruits in the face or even hit them with a rifle. It is believed that Felix was drunk during most of these reported incidents. Dozens of Tamil men are accusing the Sri Lankan government of repeatedly raping and beating them while they were seeking asylum in Europe. The majority of the victims say they were taken from their homes or from the streets. They were then blindfolded and driven to detention sites. Most were released after their families paid a hefty bribe, averaging $500,000.
A juror in the bribery trial of Senator Bob Menendez is being excused to a long-planned vacation. She said this feels like the New Jersey lawmaker is innocent on every charge. Evelyn Arroyo Maltsby also felt that the government was railroading Menendez and is very corrupt. She believes that this case will result in a hung jury, which would benefit Menendez, allowing him to avoid facing decades in prison. Notre Dame announced on Tuesday that people affiliated with the university are able to obtain insurance coverage for contraceptives through university programs. The decision is a reversal from the previous decision made last week, which stated that the university would discontinue birth control coverage. Notre Dame is one of the religious nonprofits that sued the government over the birth control mandate in the Affordable Care Act. But now the university is voluntarily choosing to adopt policies that seem to differentiate itself from traditional Catholic doctrine. The United States government announced that they will no longer accept applications for a refugee program from Central America. The program was originally created in 2014 by the Obama administration to aid refugees fleeing violence from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. People seeking refuge from these countries can still seek refugee status through the normal screening process, but the deadline to utilize the alternative program is today. Coming up, a meteorologist is predicting that we're in for a rough winter.
And Irish Concepcion will let us know if we'll be seeing freezing temperatures this weekend. Stay with us.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
A WSU meteorologist says that we could be in store for another rough winter. The snowfall that we experienced earlier this weekend could indicate that a heavy winter is on its way. According to Nick Lloyd, the weather pattern La Nina is developing in the Pacific Ocean, which typically means cooler and wetter winters in the Northwest.
Well, Austin, hopefully this potentially rough winter won't ruin our 3-day weekend.
Yeah, Irish will let us know if meteorologists' predictions are right.
Well, it's too early to tell, Austin. And as I was leaving my apartment this morning, I noticed that there is a patch of snow. And I'm sure that snow is all melted by now, keeping the grass green. But you know, who doesn't enjoy a pop of color during this time of the year? Especially now that leaves are falling and we are left with cloudy skies and cooler temperatures. Right now it's 41 degrees, a lot cooler than what the average usually is. But the winds are picking up, so if you're going to wear a hat and a scarf, you might want to hold on to those. Moving on to tomorrow's forecast, if you're going to start off the weekend with some outdoor activities, just be aware that it will be mucky and rainy. The rain showers won't begin until the afternoon. Hopefully they will subside by the evening and you're in somewhere inside nice and toasty and warm. Moving on to the state of Washington. Today, Pullman and Spokane had temperatures in the low to mid 40s. Central Washington and in Wenatchee and Yakima also experienced cooler air as well. And for people over on the west side, I'm sure they were strutting with their rain boots and umbrellas because in Seattle, Olympia, and Vancouver, the rain was also coming down. And now for your 5-day forecast. Starting with Veterans Day weekend on Saturday, there will be partly cloudy skies. It isn't the perfect weather for a picnic in the park, but that shouldn't ruin a day of fun with your family and friends. Plus, I hear that rain boots are back in style, so if you're dying to put them back on, the sidewalk will be your perfect runway come Monday and Tuesday. That's all I have for weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Irish. You know, Shannon, turns out we aren't the only student anchors on TV today.
That's right, Austin. When we come back, we'll show you how students from a Knoxville, Tennessee school are putting on their own daily newscasts.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing.
Wow! I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark.
That was awesome! Let's go again!
3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Students in Knoxville, Tennessee are proving that you're never too young to dream big. Elementary school students from the 3rd to 5th grade work together to put on a newscast every morning at Sarah Moore Green Magnet Academy. These students partake in roles from anchoring to manning equipment in the control room. Some members of this morning newscast are already thinking of pursuing careers in broadcasting. Before we know it, these young reporters will be telling stories on topics other than today's cafeteria lunch special.
Anyone who has served in World War II can call themselves accomplished, but now a 94-year-old veteran can add another accomplishment to his resume, a goal he's held for nearly 80 years. Edward Hall, a World War II veteran and Pearl Harbor survivor, graduated from Valley High School in Las Vegas earlier this month. He gave a speech to those in attendance about the importance of getting an education.
Guys, it sounds like we better watch out or some students in Knoxville are coming for our jobs.
I know.
So inspiring.
I wish I could have done this like at a younger age. It's so much fun.
I know, and just imagine their experience that they're getting from that. Well, thank you for watching, joining us every weeknight at 7 and 10 p.m. for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great night, and don't forget to follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Good night, Pullman.